Yep.
Was the first artist to ever sign with No Limit Records. Let's bring on the one and only Mr. Serv-on. Mr.
What's
Serv-on, what's
up?
good,
What's up?
man?
I'm good,
Let's
man.
get
How
you
you
up
guys
on
doing?
that big screen. We doing good, man. Appreciate you taking time out to do this.
Oh man, it's an honor, man.
So I want to start here. It says your first appearance was on a Soldier Slim album, and he was then known Magnolia Slim, the Soldier for Life, 1994. Can you tell us about how the opportunity came about?
Uh, KLC, man. Drum major, multi-platinum producer. Man, go down the list of what he done. You know what I'm saying? After Mother. You know what I'm saying? And Move Bitch by Ludacris. And so many others, man. Make him say, he was my producer. He was Soldier Slim's producer and DJ first. So, just happened to be honing my skills and getting better, under him, under his tutelage. And, of course, Slim was his guy. That was, they were rocking together first. So, I happened to just be around there when he was coming, into the basement. Yeah, hello? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you got a feature from like a Big Pun. How did that come about? How did that work out?
Well, Mia had already did something with Fat Joe, and I was always a big fan of Terror Squad. And I was a big fan of Pun. And so, I told P that's what I wanted to do. And, Joe and Pun came down to New Orleans at a show at the House of Blues. And, Joe, Fat Joe to me is one of the realest. I mean, we hit him up. We went to the show. He was like, "You want me, Pun?" Definitely. We talked, we hit it off. And then, I told P what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to fulfill a promise from a lot of years ago, concerning New York. And so we made it happen. He made it happen. We did it. We did the video up in New York in the famous, club the Tunnel, and we shot in oh man, Times Square, which was one of the, it could be one of probably only a few artists that actually shot their video in Times Square. I know I was the first Southern artist to shoot a video in Times Square, in New York. So that was actually sad to say the late great Big Pun. That was the last video that he did before his untimely passing.
Yeah, I noticed like your first album it peaked at number 5 on the R&B charts,
Yeah.
and then the second one went number 1. Like, did y'all expect that to be so high on the R&B charts like that?
Strategizing wise, we wanted to make sure we were on both charts. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I expected it. My first album, going number 5 and did what it did, and I continue working in between, man. In between albums, something that we were taught to do, and always, honing your skills, getting better, then thinking towards your next album. And so the next one, that's why I named it the next level because I wanted to go up another level, in this thing of ours. And so, and then that No Limit, number one, anything less than number one sometimes was not good. Not that people was mad, but you would be disappointed because so many people went number one, number two, less than number 5 sometimes, it was you as an artist was like you never want to break that streak. You wanted to not be that one. And so I was just happy that I went from 5 on one then to number 1 on the other. And which was crazy because Lauren Hill and R. Kelly held the top spot for a couple of weeks, and then I came and I took the top spot from such legendary artists, and that meant a whole lot to me.
So, um, can you kind of describe the kind of movement y'all had? Because I mean, y'all really had a major movement. I mean, with No Limit, and just the synergy every artist seemed to have. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it was family, and it still is family. As some labels kind of depart ways and the artists don't get along or whatever, we still family. You know what I'm saying? I weekly, check on me, on Mama. She'll check on me if she ever heard from me. You know, Kale and I still talk. We all still talk. Silk and I always talking. You know what I mean? So across the board, Fiend, everybody. And so the thing about it with our movement, man, we strategized it, we planned it, we understood. It was more than just saying, okay, we're gonna have some hot music and we hard, we street and all this other stuff, and we supposed to accept it. You know, my former boss man, Master P was a very strategic guy. You know what I'm saying? And I tell young artists these days, don't just release, be strategic. Strategize your release. Nobody owes you anything. And that's what he used to always tell us. Nobody owes you to listen to your stuff, though. You have to make them want to listen to it. You have to put in the work. And then we strategize because we would pay attention to certain regions and who was big in those regions. And back then you're looking at wherever Pac sell, God bless the dead, we knew we could sell. Ice Cube sell, Scarface, we knew we could sell. We understood the Midwest, which was such a strong region, that supported the South, supported the West, Midwest supported basically everyone. And so, we understood that we had to take regions, by region by region. And then we understood the South, so many states. We know we can just go along in the South. Like Texas used to go along in Texas. Florida artists used to go along in Florida. So we understood those demographics. It's more than just music; it's a business. So and that's what the movement was about. And I think we were for the look. I always, well, Pete say this, man. It was funny, and I really, it's the truth. We felt like we were for that guy that had the cutlass with two speakers in it, man. You know what I'm saying?
No
And
doubt.
and he taking care of child support, man. But and he gonna go buy, instead of buying 60 box of Pampers, he's gonna go down and get a 36, man, so he can get our CD. We felt like we was for that guy. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't saying we want the guys that's popping bottles and all that, because if you notice, we never had really big party songs. We was more reality. You feel what I'm saying?
Now you were 3,000 copies shy of selling 300,000 your first week. That was independent, right?
Yeah, that was independent. No Limit was still independent, just had distribution, independently owned, P owned everything.
What were y'all doing differently? I mean, those are like major label numbers right there.
Because
What
we,
was
again, okay, go ahead. You can,
good? No, I was just gonna say, what were y'all doing so much differently that nobody else was doing? I mean, you got major artists that wasn't even pushing those kind of
okay.
numbers.
He would sit down and look for SoundScan. And he would look at, like I said, say Tupac, you know, put something out, right? And he's looking at the cities. We're now going to go to them cities and we're going to push hard. Our street teams, to go back to the grassroots of it. We had street teams in every city. We
Man,
also, he was real smart on the situation. The box. You remember the box with all the videos on, right? So what
yeah.
we would do is, if I knew both of you guys, right, he'd be like, "Who you know in this city, that city?" I'll tell him, "Okay, I both know both of these guys, right, out in North Carolina, this part and this and that, right? I'll call you and say, look, how much your phone bill is, and you might say, oh man, why? Just about $70, $80 a month back then, right? And I would say, what if I give you $250, 150 yours, and the other 150 for you to pay your phone bill, keep the rest, and then the other 100 I want you to order. I'm about at the video all day, and we basically was paying your phone bill plus whatever you charge on the box. So what that did was, and we did mental marketing, and what I mean by that is, now if you seeing that video all day, then you get in your car, and then we done pay for commercials in your city because we know you're working and doing what you got to do on the box. Now you're hearing about it again, right? So that's two
Yeah.
times. So it's now it's in your mind. But then our street teams, right? Our street teams were basically, how you doing, sweetie? Our street teams were basically, sorry, my daughter.
It's
Our
fine.
street teams would basically go out, and we also would, and I felt like it was a good gesture. It was even exchange, border system, where people that are homeless, you know, you're gonna see them every day. They're gonna have the same clothes on. So we would go give them three, four unbounded shirts. And then we also
Okay,
would give them 50, 75, $100, right?
man.
And
Yeah,
so now you got to think about what I'm saying to you. You watch the video on TV,
yeah,
then you get in the car and you hear the commercial. Then you
yeah,
pull up to a light and there's somebody standing there with an unbounded shirt on.
yeah.
Now, what does that do to your mind?
I
It makes you
mean,
say,
yeah. You bout
let me go
about it.
check this. There you go. Let me check what it is. So we're catching you at every angle, and so we knew how to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so but we would go to several different regions. We wasn't artists that would just okay. I only come there when my album come out and I got a show. No, we come into your city when we don't have a show. We going in every area. We always had connection. You guys might have been our street guys out there. Okay, look, we want to go to this club tonight to go meet this DJ. We want to go. You might say, man, nah, it's gangster over there. Don't go over there. Like, nah, we going. We want them to, we want them to see us. So we would be in every project. We'd be in every hood. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And we come with respect, but we let them know we there. And then we giving away stuff. You know what I'm saying? Making sure, letting them know like we here, man. We different. We do music, but we want y'all to know we do music for y'all just as much. Y'all can see us. Y'all gonna remember us, and that was our strategy. We had that grassroots interface marketing, and everybody was gonna make money. You the promoter, the street team guy, the people working in the mom and pops, the people in the clubs or whatever, whatnot. We'll hire somebody you might know and just say, okay, we want him to put flyers on around the city on every car. And then we would pay you guys to do the posters. So basically, every way you turn, you hear us and you see us. And sooner or later, the mind of any human being is going to be like, man, it's in my mind. Wait a minute. Well, let me go check this out. Let me go to the store and get this CD. And then once they got it, and I think we spoke for the little guy. You know what I'm saying? We from the South, but we had songs saying, especially me saying Charlotte, saying, Columbia, South Carolina. I'm
Yeah.
throwing we talking these cities that nobody really cared about. But we cared because we hit every last one of them. And that was most of, our biggest strategy.
Man, y'all were killing it, yeah.
So what do you think your kind of biggest tour was as far as touring?
Man, I mean, what we're gonna say biggest was especially when Ghetto D came out and then Snoop came to us. You know what I'm saying? And now we're in 40, 50, 60, 70,000 seat arenas and selling them out. I mean, those were, what I'm saying, those were the biggest ones when P album Ghetto D came out because that was such a big album, monumental album, and things like that. So that to me will always be the biggest. You know, Most special one was our last one that we just went on. That was special. And then before the big one, when we was just trying to make our way. When we come into cities and we go into one way in, one way out spots. Well, what I mean, and you got to walk through the crowd. You got to man up. Ain't no orders. You coming through the back door and 50 people security. Yeah, we had a lot of people with us, but that was us artists and our guys. But we walked through the crowd. We made a presence, not disrespecting. We let them know, like you can touch us. We right here. We're not. Okay, I just want y'all ticket money. Come to the show, and you can see me on stage, but you can't touch me. You can't say what's up to me. Nah, we set a precedence, and I remember that, and that meant a lot because that's what rap's supposed to be, because your fans and your list. I don't like saying fans. I call them family. Your family. Your support family. You know, they the reason we are who we are. So why can't they be near you? Why can't they see you? Why can't they look up and say, "Whoa, what's up, man? That's such and such, man." And we coming through. And then we hit the stage, we rock, and then we come right back through with them into the parking lot, holler at them, talk, whatever, and then get in our vans and we go head on to the next city. But they'll know that, man, them dudes is all right, and they're not afraid. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean, and I love that when we first started.
You don't hear too many artists talk about the fans as family too much, man. I mean, that's a beautiful thing to really hear because, like you said,
Definitely.
they keep these artists, you know, and they flashy lifestyles and stuff like that. It says you wrote a book in 2008 for a dating book for Black women. What was that like about? Without giving too much up.
It actually was. It's crazy. It was actually a three-part book, and I slipped up, man, because before Steve Harvey put "Think Like a Man" out, that was based on his book in the movie.
Uh,
I wrote this book because it originally started as um, erotic poetry, right? You know what I'm saying? And so then I start going to erotic stories, right? And I'm like, because it's called Sexy Black Thoughts. And
mm,
then I happened to be in a restaurant one night, and I was by myself eating. I used to, do that. At that point in time, I was a single man, so I used to just go eat by myself. And it was a table full of ladies, right? And they're calling men dogs and this, that, and that, and I'm just and cheaters, and I'm sitting there like, man, I'm getting tired of that. So I laughed, and one of them was like, "What you laughing at?" I said, "If I explain to you, where it's really more your fault if a man does you wrong than the man that does it." And when I sat there, and it was like I said, and if y'all don't agree, I'll buy the whole table of drinks and pay for your food. When I sat down and explained to them, which basically was giving the code, you know what I'm saying, to with men, you know what I'm saying, the man's code.
uh,
And
Mhm.
so, basically it was like they sat there and they couldn't say anything. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna still take care of y'all food and y'all drink. And that made me walk away and say, I'm tired. I'm about to sit here and do a book called Let's Talk from a Black Man to a Black Woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give you all the codes. Now, if you still go out there and deal with the wrong man and have a bad relationship in a situation, you know what I'm saying? Then I don't know what else to tell you. And so I broke down everything, and I decided to turn the book into, a full book, and just combined it completely. And so I really printed it up, and it's sold. I did like 3,000 copies, like just hand to hand one weekend at Essence Fest down here, which generates almost 300,000 women come to the city. Excuse me. And so now I really revised it, and I'm actually going to re-release it, audio, and then in the store in
that's
the
what's up.
stores.
You got another question, Jay? Because if not, I
Yeah.
got another one for him.
You can go ahead with yours, and then I'll
Okay, so I noticed your philanthropy. You do the gun buyback program in New Orleans. You still involved with that?
Uh, I'm involved in extensions from it. We did a gun buyback like 2013, and it was very successful because it was around Thanksgiving, and I think it helped a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? And it got guns off the street, and I got to meet a lot of people, and then I turned it into a free studio for troubled youth, and
Okay.
which we had standards that I set there. You can come and record, and you get my advice you needed or whatever, whatnot, as long as you have a job, the young man, or go and get your GED, or in school, at least do attending. And man, it taught me so much, man, because a lot of these young men that people think is just lost and they just nothing. It was all about having somebody showing them that, look, I care, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And then teaching them conflict resolution, because we lack that so much in the black community. That's why a lot of things turn so violent. And so, and then a lot of them I was finding out they had not just, everybody want to be a rapper or a ball player. And I understand that, but I start finding guys in there that were hell of an artist, drawing, sketching, painting, but they was, as we say, gangster. They didn't want nobody to know they have these skills. And one guy, I mean,
Yeah,
he's a chef. He's a chef to this day. You know what I'm saying? And one guy does
that's what's up.
blueprints for construction sites. And you know what I mean. And that was that's one of the most important things I ever did. and I saw the effect because when I closed it, not closed it, but we trans over because people, how people can be, business and how they, it just didn't go right with them. And I was about the kids; they were more about money and grant monies and stuff like that. And so, long story short, 2 weeks later, two of the brothers that used to come in there between 7 and 10, I used to personally make sure their studio time was 7 to 10 to keep them off the streets. They were murdered on the same corner, a block and a half away from the studio. And so, but overall, man, that was one of the best things I did that I felt like, you know, like this is what's needed.
And you had a couple acting parts and appeared
Mhm.
in a documentary called "We Are One: The Street Music of New Orleans." Um, just kind of tell me the process. You know what I'm saying, of getting into those films. Did you kind of catch the acting bug after that, or just kind of get it out? Or
Well, actually, man, by being on the movies with No Limit, you had no choice with Pete. And it was like you playing this role. Like I don't, just try it. And then he has a way of saying it's gonna add to what you're doing with music. Put another hat on. He used to always say that when he would talk to us about doing businesses. You wear the rapper hat, you wear the dad hat. You know what I'm saying? The time you wear the husband hat, you wear the son hat. He said, now put on another hat that's going even extend past music. When you thinking most times rappers, you think they'll do music for a long, long time. And his thing was you're gonna transition into movies, whether you're writing them or in them. And so I started. I'm a type of person, man. I like to watch what you're doing. I like to learn. I tell people that on Instagram now when they reply, when I put up posts about things like everything about politics right now, and they think they're getting smart with me, and I'm like, well, give me facts. And then when they give me the facts, and I'll be like, thank you, I appreciate it, because I'm gonna research it. I want to learn it. And so watching P do the movies and things like that, and then have us in them, and then watching the whole process, man, it was something that interests me, so much. And so I did enjoy acting, and I would have should have taken it serious even more, because a lot of people always ask me, why you didn't get into it, because you did well with it. And me being me, man, I decided I want to be behind the scenes. I want to, if anything, I want to write scripts. I want to go find the next young dude and put him in the role of a producer, a director. You know what I'm saying? Cinematography, and things like that. And because I like putting things together, I like putting people together to create something great. So I still deal with it. We actually deal with it in a big way. We have a movie streaming app coming, along under my, brand Live Worldwide TV coming real soon. And so it's gonna be a movie streaming site, and you guys be able to upload their videos and things like that up to it. So I'm getting back into it, but I'm getting back into it more on the sitting back in the chair. You know what I'm saying?
How hard was it trying to make it coming out of New Orleans?
For me, it was even harder than most artists that from New Orleans, because I'm from New Orleans, but I started rapping on the East Coast when I was in the military.
Okay.
And so, I had more of a I had a down south dialect, speak, the words I use, which where I'm from, New Orleans, but then I had more of an East Coast style. And so when I came back to New Orleans has always been, people say New York, you know what I'm saying? And New
Yeah.
Orleans is similar to New York. They only listen to their own, and then at that time bounce was real big, you know what I'm saying? And so me coming home, and I tongue twist a lot rap wise. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And so that wasn't something they was doing down there. So it was more or less like I don't fit in here, and so my thing was, but it was hard because New Orleans had so much talent that, of Cash Money, of No Limit. But New Orleans has some artists, man, from my day that would have been during that time was some of, man, they were serious, man. I mean, some were no longer with us, like Tim Smoot. He was one of the best to ever do it. Gregory D. He's still alive. He's one of the legends, man. I mean, ERC. A friend of mine's, man. one of my rap idols down there, MC Dot, who is a straight lyricist and a producer. New Orleans is very talented. You might have a dude that produces hits, but he's a better rapper than a whole lot of rappers. As like today with us in New Orleans, we have some talented young dudes, and it's hard to make it out because you know if you make it out alive, that was one thing back then. That was hard because the way the city of New Orleans is, sad to say. And then New Orleans guys are very independent.
Hmm.
It's like I'm gonna do it, you do it, so it's gonna be 100 of them doing it. Instead of maybe coming together and do some things, they stand on a good arrogance, I would say, because there's nothing wrong with saying I'm me. I'm different from you. I'm me. And I think that made it even harder because your mindset was to always be competitive. So you rarely had groups. And the groups we had was some of the most legendary, the UNLVs, the PNCs, the Boot Camp Clique, J Dog and Black Menace, 3 9 Posse, several groups, down there. Even Manny Fresh was part of a group that's legendary. The Ninja Crew. And so, but that was rare in New Orleans because New Orleans was more individuals. So yeah, it was hard making it, as far as being a rap artist in New Orleans because they had their cliques down there and you had to fit in and you had to be about your business when it come to rap. They was serious with it, very serious.
Do you think Cash Money basically saw y'all's formula and took it and ran with it?
No, honestly, and I always tell people this, man, and I was just actually with a artist that was on Cash Money before they went
Uh-huh.
national, made a little comment, and some of them threw them little comments where he like, oh, No Limit was whack, this and that, and Cash Money was just that. We opened the door,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But they was already coming. They had an independent formula. Baby and Slim was geniuses, and they had the same type of roster basically we had. And so they were already doing it, and P was doing it up in California. So it was like they was doing it at the same time, different regions. And so, so when you saw Cash Money, you only saw what they've always been doing. Because there was
Yeah.
another label in New Orleans called Big Boy that was huge. That's where Mystical was at first. And the J Dog, J Dog Black Menace, who's one of the best to ever do it to me, and Tim Smooths, what I mean, and things like that. So no, they didn't take our formula. I mean, I know they watched business wise,
Yeah.
but they already was who they were, and I think they learned to from us. The only thing I feel they learned from us is they watched how we, did one major album, then drop, drop, drop. You know what I'm saying? And putting the music out and hustling through it. And Baby was such, especially Slim, his brother Slim. He's real quiet, but Slim is a mastermind. And
Yeah.
and people see the flair with Baby, you know what I'm saying, which I grew up with Baby. That's my guy. And we actually played, and I tell people this, we played basketball together, football together, baseball together. And I know people be surprised. He a hell of an athlete, dog. He was a hell of an athlete. No
Was
joke,
he?
no game.
No doubt.
Damn.
Handles on the basketball court, handles
That's
on seat the
crazy.
ball, on the football court, on the football field, would knock your helmet off you. Played
Mm.
baseball, was right in the right field. I was in left field. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know when people look at him, they just see he gangster. Nah, man, dude was a
Y-
hell of an athlete.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
But
think he played baseball at all.
nah, he played. Yeah, he played. He was if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he was in. No, he was a shortstop, shortstop,
Okay.
shortstop,
Wow.
and I was in left field. His brother was in right field. God rest his dead. But I think that Baby was smart enough to watch how we were doing what we was doing in our grind. You know what I'm saying? But they already was doing their thing, man. I'ma never take nothing from them to say they copied off us. They played the game right. We kicked the door open. They got their deal. They handled their business, and then they came and they brought they thing to rap.
And you were at one time they were talking about that y'all were both basically both labels were in the room and possibly y'all could have basically forged an even bigger conglomerate together, right?
Yeah, I mean, because I think from what I understand, I think they were going to was looking at being with party or whatever, whatnot. But New Orleans is New Orleans is we're very territorial, so it probably wouldn't have been something that would have worked. And it was good that they got their deal where they got it. We had ours where we was at, and they got to forge who they were, and they didn't have to have the thing of saying, okay, no limit doing this, so we expecting y'all to be this way. They did it their way. I mean, a lot of people always say, man, if y'all had just did a tour together, yeah, that would have been beautiful because all of us as artists were friends. We was cool. Outside of people saying it was beef, no, it wasn't no beef, man. If you're from New Orleans, you're no beef. If body's not dropping, it's not beef.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So y'all didn't even have no beef when Snoop was over there from Suge at all, did y'all? I don't remember nothing from Suge.
Not really. I mean, couple of guys, I think it was on one of the documentaries, tried to get at Snoop, in the back while we were on stage in LA. And we got off stage and, what I'm saying, and they were gone or whatever, not. And, and he spoke what he had to speak, you know what I'm saying, and all that was done with. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we the type of people, man, and there's no disrespect. We look at it like this: we don't bother you, don't bother us. You bother us, then deal with what comes with it. And I think with that road, you know, never had no issues with none of them guys. Man. I watched interviews of some of them that were on there, man, and I had maybe one comment towards to the guy Reggie Wright once he said something, when he said C Murder's name, and I just corrected him. Like keep his name out your mouth. But I'm cool with dude. I have no issues with him because we never got down like that. And no limit. We didn't talk about anybody because we always had a rule: real men don't talk about other men on albums, on music. So we stayed away from that, and we still live by that today. If I got a problem with you, you could say something about me on the song. I'm not gonna say nothing back. Now we gotta see each other. We have that conversation. And I'm not saying no it's physical, but we gonna have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? So you keep my name out your mouth. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And that's the way we were. And that's the way the rules we live by. So we didn't really have no issues with them at all.
Do you got any new music on the way?
Actually, I did something, man. I'm on my grown man. I put out a new single, Let Me Be the One, featuring a super artist, man, Naya, out of Detroit. She is, she's awesome, and I'm doing some work with Miss Jackson Media Group, and she has an awesome album I call Experience. And she has, with a multitude of artists on there, man. Tony Bosco, my boo, she's gonna be one. I mean, the voice on this young lady, Naya. Tony Bosco from the East Coast, man, awesome artist. CMT production. It's going back to the old days, and I'm working with them, doing some consulting. But now she's talked me into doing 4 or 5 more songs with this grown feel, which we call it vibes. You know what I'm saying? Grown vibes or whatever, whatnot. And I like it. I like the style of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always a neo soul type guy. I listen to more rap and neo soul than I did. I mean, neo soul and R&B than I did the rap. So I like it. I'm not singing. Trust me. Y'all don't want to do that. I'm not gonna do myself that. I ain't gonna do y'all.
I got
Yep.
one more question. We posted in the Reddit your album. It seems like Heaven is So Close is like the song that most fans always talk about. You think that's like the song that most fans typically cling on to?
I think because I always believe, man, that when I did music, I know what type of artist I was. Scarface was one of my rap idols, the biggest one.
That's
That
what's up.
I idolized him. And so, that's why you're Mr. Serv-on, Mr. Scarface. That's where that really come from. So I've always been a
Oh,
more pain, in listening to pop. And so Heaven was so close was where, with a moment, and I think a lot of people felt it because we were going through a time at that time, especially New Orleans was like the murder capital of the world. And, the United States, whatever. And I lost my cousin. I lost two
Yeah.
brothers that were killed at the same time, along with There, with one of my guys, his girlfriend was pregnant with twins. They were all killed at the same time. And so to me, it was just like, man, my thing was like, heaven is like, man, it's right here. You seen it. You living in it. You know what I'm saying? You might say, well, man, how you living in heaven, Jesus? Because you just feel like you're that close. You're that close to death. And at that time, that's the way I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's close. Because I know I was a good person, so I think I'm gonna end up in heaven. So it's like, it's close. And that's what that song was about. And I think people lose so many people. It makes you look in the mirror and say, oh, you next.
Mm.
you know, and I think people feel that, you know what I'm saying? And they felt my pain, they felt my anger, in the song. And the thing about it was crazy was a prayer that, the young lady Kenya Miller she's from Dallas, where she sung "Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, I Pray to Love." You know what I'm saying? She sung that because that was a prayer my mother taught me to always, say before I go to sleep. And so she knew that, and we intertwined all that. And I think people feel that, felt that a lot.
Yeah, we just lost DJ Polo and Chino XL in a matter of like
Man,
3 or 4 days. You know what I'm
man,
saying?
Yeah.
rap and Chino XL was people for the young ones out there. You talking about lyricists? You talking about get it? Oh my God,
Yes.
he that's my generation, man. He was not nice. I I I I remember having his album, and just like, and I was in the military, and I'm like, man, this dude's going off. And it's sad though because we losing so many, like little young kid Julio Fulio,
Yep.
and that hits me hard with these young dudes, man. I did a song. I do songs every other day because Pac once said, "Every day of your life is a song. You have no reason not to finish the album." So every day of your life is a song, and so I do a song or a song with a hook basically every day or every other day, and just put it in folders. And I said something in the song once with these young artists of today. you know, they'll get a bunch of likes and a bunch of clicks, but they'll never get to see what it feel like to be in sold out arenas. You know what I'm saying? And everybody loving you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's sad to see a lot of them don't get to make it to see that feeling, dude, to walk on a stage and 30,000 people know you and they love you. They'll probably fight for you, right? I mean, if you fell out or passed out, man, they will rush the stage. They'll take your body, probably bring you to the hospital. That's how much the fans, love these artists. And a lot of these artists, young dudes, don't even get to see that. Don't even get to see that feeling. Don't get to feel riding away from an arena in another city. Like, man, you saw the person in the front row. You saw that one in the corner. He knew every word. That one was crying. They never get to feel that because they losing their life. You know what I'm saying? So we losing so many in rap, whether it's health, and we about to start pushing that about, men's health. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully a lot of
Yep.
rappers start listening to start taking care of their physical health and their mental health. And and then the ones that are losing it because they still want to have a foot back in the street. We got to figure out how to get these young dudes to say, man, just do your music. Take care of your family. Stay home. What you got to prove? You ain't got to go out there. Go out there when you go do these shows. Go out there and talk to young kids, man, and show them the right way. Take care of your community, but stay away from all that other stuff. We losing too many.
No doubt. So let's get you out on this, man. Any other shout outs you want to give? Any other projects you got?
Oh man, oh big time, man. My Brandon, my label imprint, Vibe World, gonna be pretty huge. We got Vibe World Vibe TV. We got Vibe World Vibe streaming app. We got Vibe World Audio, which is my headphones. Make sure you guys have some. But they're special headphones, man. We're gonna do some things to help artists make money again. Where artists can have their own headphones distributed through my company, and labels can have their own headphones. It's media, my guy Spud out there, Miss Jackson Media Group again, the experience, get the album, my city of New Orleans, man, and And also, man, that we doing educational headphones, everything vibe what you guys gonna see, man. Like I got the Vibe Vision shades on right now. We got smart glass shades and stuff like that's what I'm talking through y'all too. So I'm into the
So,
audio world, man, and everything else, and making sure artists make money again, helping them make money again. We have a lot coming up, men's health things that we're doing, and we have a sports agency, Vibe World Sports Agency. Bryce Oliver, he's at Tennessee, the Titans, and we got Lance Robinson up at Cincinnati, and we got a young kid out in Atlanta. He's in the 10th grade. He's gonna be one of them. He's 6'8". He plays basketball.
hmm,
His name is Jalen Singh. We doing a lot of things, man. But one of the things that I'm really pushing, and I want to say this, and I know y'all show is huge, man, and I appreciate y'all. Please do not forget the elderly. Check on the elderly in your community. Check on the elderly in your family.
no doubt.
Do not forget them. That this country forgets them. And I want you guys out there, to, man, if you call yourself and you're a rapper and you say you love your block and you scream your block, go check on the elderly. Go see if they need some water. See if they need something. Single mothers on your block where you scream at and you say you ride or die. This is where you from. Show the love you need to. Go help those single mothers or single fathers on your neighborhood. Make sure your block is straight. You know what I'm saying? If not, then don't tell me where you from. Don't even say it. I don't want to hear it. If we as a rap artists, yeah, we didn't want to, we didn't know we'd be role models, but we it's what it is. And
Yup.
so take care of your neighborhood, and that's what I would basically tell people especially my black community, get out to vote. If we're not a part of their agenda out there, we need to create our own agenda, create our better America. In this period, vote period. This is important, a very important election. And my black community, I want them to get more into to to politics. I want them to get into financial literacy. I want them to start understanding what their social security number really is and what it can do to better them and get them out of poverty. So
Yeah,
we're on a lot over here, man. So, but I want to say to you guys real quick, I want to tell you thank you because you guys are
Appreciate it.
more than just podcast
thank you for
guys.
coming.
See,
Yeah,
a lot of podcast guys, and I tell them when I do it, and I'm gonna tell y'all real quick, y'all our own media. We finally got our own media. CNN might call me, you never know. But you guys are the reason we now can speak our truth, our voices. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are very, very important. We have our own media. The culture has its own media, and it's because of guys like you. So ever think, if you ever have a moment thinking, man, this is my little show, it's cool. Nah, it's not little. You guys are very important, man. You understand what I'm
Appreciate that,
saying? And
man.
keep doing what
yeah,
you're doing
definitely.
and promise me, both of y'all, as long as y'all doing that, y'all gonna get a youngster and teach him what y'all doing and how y'all doing it and bring him up in time. You know what I'm saying? And pass it on and keep it going. But I appreciate you guys, man. All the other podcasts, man, and I appreciate you guys especially because I'm on with you guys. But just know how important you guys are and keep it up.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. We appreciate you taking time out, man, to do this.
Definitely, man. It's an honor, man. My guy was getting at me hard. He getting me gonna make sure I was gonna get on. So, but I love that, man. More people need to be that way business wise. If you ain't gonna
Yeah,
fight for your business, why have it?
yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely,
All right, well, you a friend of the show, man. I'm definitely gonna hit you up. I think I already follow you on Facebook or whatnot, and I'm gonna make sure I give you our contact information. We also do music reviews as well. We do live music reviews on Saturdays if you're interested in that. And
definitely,
man,
man. I gotta send you some. I would love to link y'all guys with some of the young artists out in New Orleans, man.
that too, that too, yeah, that
Big, yeah,
too,
definitely.
yeah.
Because
I do a
we got a
blog
few
as
down.
well, so
We got a few, man. We got the Co Youngins down there, man. We got some strong artists, man, young artists, and I want to get them in the structure like this, get their music on new music, and possibly get an interview with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I want to start helping a lot of the young artists down there, man. And so, definitely, man. So we would definitely and whatever I could do for you guys. If you need anything I can do, it'll be an honor to help.
All right, we appreciate it, man. And you have a nice night, man.
All
definitely.
right, God bless, man. See
All
y'all
right,
later, man.
you too.
All right, peace.
Peace. Well, there you go. Another one in the books. Man, he's a really genuinely great guy, man. We're interviewing a lot of great people, man.
I mean, and to be inspirational, you know what I'm saying? Just and be humble. You know what
Really
I mean?
decent human being. I meant to ask him, did he come through Fayetteville, Fort Bragg at all? Because he said he was in the military. You could tell he
Yeah,
was in the military when he was talking about the elderly and stuff. That's like a patriotic talking point, and I didn't want to ask who he was voting for, because then we would have it would have probably been a long conversation after that and whatnot. But I do agree
yeah,
this election is crazy. And did you actually listen to a lot of No Limit coming up?
yeah, man, definitely. I switched off listening to a lot of No Limit, a lot of West Coast, and a lot of down south. Well, specifically No Limit stuff when I went off to college and I was doing shows up in Rhode Island and stuff like that. Because a lot of the college shows were playing, um, sound alikes, like 15 million different sound alikes that sounded like Mobb Deep or Wu Tang at the time, because that's what was popping. So to hear something different and get a different perspective, I was definitely on, No Limit. Definitely listening to Master P and Mystical before he got, to No Limit. So that's why I was definitely familiar with the cats he was talking about, like T Smooth and Big Time Records, because definitely a different vibe. So you know, I love the way it was moving. You know what I mean? I almost wished at one point, what I'm saying, I would have got on that bus and took that ride down to Baton Rouge to see if I could have got me a deal out there. Not just for the music, but for the information. Because what he was talking about, as far as like he really trying to instill like facts and information and build people
Yeah.
up and teach them how to fish. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing you don't get from any label or anywhere else. That's why
I mean, No Limit
he
was
is the
the
way he is.
ultimate independent label, though. They were like the ultimate independent label. And Master P, like, I remember, like, I was thinking about this earlier, man, when I was walking the dog. I mean, a lot of people would say Master P couldn't rap and he was whack, but damn it if he didn't build a conglomerate, man. I mean, he got his son, even he blew his son up where his son was getting that Nickelodeon money. I mean, both of his brothers, you know, he put on. I mean, they had so many art. The only other crew, like, see, that's the thing. Wu Tang didn't even have Wu Tang Records where everybody was signed to Wu Tang Records. Like P had No Limit Records, and there was a gang of people signed with No Limit Records, man.
And
I mean,
his
you had the
business.
twins too, Cain and Abel, right? Ain't
Yep,
that the
yep,
only?
yep. And his
I
business
mean,
game is crazy. I mean, before everybody else got on trying to do other things outside of music, he had No
yeah.
Limit Phones. He had No Limit Realty. He had No Limit Sports Management. He had the films. I mean,
Mr. Serv-on tuned in on Instagram. He said, "I said Fayetteville in a song." Uh, yeah, like I was wondering if he actually, being in the military, he probably came through Fort Bragg and whatnot. And P also, you remember Mystical was part of the boot camp clique before No
yep,
Limit, but he was bigger when he was on No Limit.
yeah.
Like he kind of fizzled out with the boot camp clique thing. And then when No Limit came out and they signed Mystical even got bigger.
I mean, he did people right because he was on Jive, and his deal with Jive was kind
Like
of
what was it,
crazy,
like 95.5 or something?
something like that.
He had
But
like the
I mean,
best
he made sure he did
distribution
his
deal
hardest
ever.
second.
He had the best distribution deal ever. They killed it with posters. Like you heard Mr. Serv-on, man. I mean, I never heard of people talking about they had the homeless guys rocking the shirts and paying the homeless people. I don't know
Hey,
nobody was doing that. I
that's a
mean,
genius
that's
move, man.
crazy, yo. That is a genius move.
That's definitely a genius
Back
move.
then, homeless people always be on the corners back then. You always see homeless people on the corners back then.
I don't know. I might have to
That,
get some of them to start rocking my shirts now.
oh, he
I don't know
said
if they're gonna
one of his artists is from Fayetteville, Juice God LP. Do we know who that is?
Juice God. Sounds familiar. Not familiar.
We know that rapper Juice God, but he's out of is a Juice Lord. My bad, it's Juice Lord, right?
Juice
Juice
Lord is out
Lord.
of Raleigh.
Yeah.
Out of Raleigh.
He's out of Raleigh, yeah.
Yeah, I
We're gonna
actually
have
got
to
a
do our research on that.
yeah, man. Plug us in, man. Plug us in. We definitely gonna do some things. Like I said, we can
Hell
write
yeah.
up some blogs and have them on the show, all that. You know what I mean?
Anything you wanna shout out before we go? I know we about to hit that hour mark.
And as usual, shout out yourself, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Underground Experience, BCHCEO. That's the new write up I have on the artists, and we got a couple more coming. Of course, shout out to Fat. He's got a album that he just dropped, so I'm gonna do some kind of pub and write up on that one. Um, of course, everybody who's involved in the music scene right now, I see some things moving around that definitely make me feel good about where certain things are going. So we're just gonna keep everything moving as usual.
Well, I want to say shouts out to Mr. Serv-on. Rest in peace to DJ Polo. Rest in peace to Chino XL. I know people
Definitely,
talking
definitely.
about it's a big deal that like Rakim got the last Chino XL
Yeah,
verse on his album and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that in a matter of like 3 days. Like both of them literally gone, man. We're losing a lot of people in hip hop. Not even
what a
just because
legend.
of like gun violence, but everybody's getting old, man, and natural causes is taking
Health,
over, man. Health,
it's a
just
big
too
thing.
we just yeah, so many people in hip hop, man, it's gone, man. And it almost seems like we're losing like 2 or 3 people at a time every time, man. It really does.
I just had to go out and get that "Here to Save You All" album. You know what I'm saying? Just to go rock that again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 45. How old are you?
46.
Man, we getting up there, man. Definitely gotta I would say one of the key things in life to make life extend is not stress. I mean, even if I don't care how hard your times are, man, if the more you stress, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna kill you alone.
Yeah.
Stress will kill you faster than a lot of things, man. Like it'll tear your body down, man. Like you gotta try not to stress no matter what. I mean, we were literally in a recession. I don't care what anybody says. We're in a recession. You know, inflation is crazy high still. Things are going. There's a lot of people out there hurting, but try not to stress, man. And you know,
This is
just
where
try to
you
get through it. Try to get through it, man, and bounce back, man.
this is where
You
you
know.
find out, who you can find out who your tent poles are. Find out who the people who really ground you out are. You know what I mean? That's who the people you got to rely on. You can't
You know what though?
worry
I
about the
almost
stress.
wish we
Can't
would.
worry about the beef. Can't worry about none of that.
I almost wish we'd go back to the Native American days, though, man. I always felt like the Native Americans had it right, man. You know, just living off the land and well, we don't follow buffalo no more, but just living off the land. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like they had it right, man, and we called them dinosaurs and savages because they didn't want to, keep up with technology and they didn't care about technology. You know, they're just spiritual people that lived off the land and followed the buffalo, man. You know.
Yeah. Look at where we at.
I
Yeah.
well, we about to wrap it up. We got 3 minutes to the hour mark. Tune in tomorrow, 6 p.m. I'm moving music reviews to 6 p.m. As you see, I went live not yesterday, but the day before and whatnot. So my music, the submissions are getting up there. So I gotta start banging out more and more reviews and whatnot. But y'all tune in tomorrow and next Friday we got who we got next Friday? Cooley High.
Next Friday. Hold on.
I can find out real
Quick, quick,
quick. Hold up.
quick.
Huh?
Um, I had it here the whole time. Next Friday, Next
Yeah,
Friday
that's
is
Pace One.
Pace One. Pace One next
All
Friday.
right, that'll be interesting. I just reviewed a song with Pace
Ooh.
One and I forgot, was it Drasmatic and Pace
Drasmatic?
One?
Drasmatic Pace One.
Yeah,
Right.
that shit was dope, yo.
Yeah,
That shit
man.
was mad dope.
After that next week is Cooley High. We got some people coming up. Barbara Mack, Minnesota Money Boss Players, Punchline, Ben Malik. You just said you got Diesel of the Rascals.
Yeah, Rotten Rascals. I just reviewed one of his songs too, and I got another one to review.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
K.A.
so we got
Flow, Willie Scandals, Sauce from the Valley, and Sean Dawn of the Justice League. Little brother and all them. So definitely got some people coming up, man. The man said it was big. Yeah, keeping it big.
all right, well, we better wrap it up, man. Till tomorrow. Peace. We out.